Just a quick warning, there will be spoilers ahead. The Witness is directed by Alberto Mielgo, who was a visual consultant on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and was a huge influence on that project, explaining why the style of animation in this episode looks so similar to that film. Also explaining why this episode looks so incredible. After witnessing a murder, a woman runs from the killer through the surreal streets of Hong Kong. When the man tracks her down, they both fight over a gun. The woman shoots the man and kills him. When she looks out the window, she can see the same man she just murdered watching her from the hotel across the street. The woman becomes the killer and the killer becomes the witness. The woman is wearing the same outfit and has the same exact makeup smear on her face as her duplicate, implying that these timelines may repeat the same exact way every time, with the only difference being the person who is dead on the floor. It seems that they are in their own Mobius strip version of hell, and this nightmare appears to be fueled by confusion and lack of context. It's quite possible that no one is the bad guy in this situation. In fact, at the beginning of the episode, the woman had the gun in her hand right before we cut away and hear gunshots, so it's very possible she accidentally shot herself, and the killer wasn't actually the killer. The entire structure of the story itself is cyclical. We start in the apartment, the man kills the woman, the killer sees the witness from the hotel across the street, the man chases the woman, they go past the bridge. They enter the strip club, the man chases the woman, they go past the bridge. The woman kills the man, the killer sees the witness from the hotel across the street, we end in the apartment. Someone call Christopher Nolan. This episode hints at the repeating timeline in the title intro, as one of the three icons is a serpent eating its own tail, also known as a Ouroboros, which is symbolic of infinity. I heard some people say that this episode puts Game of Thrones to shame when it comes to pointless and unnecessary nudity that doesn't serve the story. And most of you can probably tell by now that I'm trying really hard to keep my monetization on this video, but the nudity does serve a significant role in the overall meaning of the story. Hear me out. For starters, the nudity makes the chase feel more real and intense. In real life, when you're running from a killer, you don't pause to fix your clothing and worry about your appearance, you'd be more concerned about staying alive. However, the meaning behind the provocative imagery goes much deeper than that. When discussing this episode, Alberto Mielgo claimed, "This story is very much a representation in the shape of a thriller of difficult types of relationships into which I repeatedly fall, which are not necessarily based on love, but on needs, on anything that is like an obsession more than love. In this case, the need and obsession is sex and temptation." Overall, the story of The Witness is emblematic of those complex and dysfunctional relationships. The killer was even sleeping on the bed in the hotel room at the beginning. He didn't instantaneously appear in that hotel room because he was there from the start. Details in this episode are intentionally ambiguous. The woman couldn't name the hotel she was in and has trouble saying her own name. You don't even see the entirety of another person's face in this whole episode. Everyone is either masked, partially covered, or layered in makeup. No one besides the man and the woman's full face is shown to us. There's also no one on the streets during the chase. The rest of the world is blocked out as these two are isolated in their struggle, tethered to one another. Something further emphasized by the phrase "it's my leash" appearing on the screen at the club. The pursuit of the killer chasing the witness is another way of expressing those anxieties and distaste of being around that person you're with purely out of lust and a lack of self-control. In the middle of the story, our two main characters enter the BDSM club, a place of temptation. The woman's dance is cut together with two other women dressed in latex seducing the man, representative of two lovers having sex. At this moment, both of their guards are down. The sex is the calm in the storm, like in any relationship that is greatly dependent on sex. Then, the two immediately go back to the chaos and unpleasantness. One is in pursuit while the other is extremely vulnerable and wants to be left alone. However, in the end, the roles are reversed, like what happens when one person wants their partner more as the other loses interest. Relationships that are driven by lust are often difficult to end. The two lovers are caught in an endless cycle as they repeatedly fall victim to each other.